Hi, Irfan.
Yeah, Subhashri. So we can start now?
Yeah, we can start. Is Asmar joining?
Okay, then for sure.
Yeah, I will join now.
Okay, all right. So we'll start.
I will
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our session, and we will be starting right now. Over to you, Irfan.
Okay, thank you, Subhashri. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar session today for Huawei Four Engines. Today, we are going to give you a brief introduction of Huawei Four Engines and how they are making the difference in the market, and especially in the campus network. Okay, as we know, like campuses are now a big chunk of the market, and all the innovations and production is happening in the campus. We used to have a definition of campus like a campus can be a campus of university, but now the definition for campus is very, very huge. Any organization who is spread across many countries and have offices in many countries, right? So all of those offices are connected together and work as a one unit, and all of them are called as a campus. That's why you see the word campus and why we emphasize on this, because the people are living in campuses almost 95% of their time. Okay. Now we will discuss how we are bringing innovation into the campuses and what are the different components which works together to make Huawei campus solution. Right. So the first part is Huawei campus S series switches and firewall, and then my colleague Abdullah will present Huawei Wi-Fi 6 solution and AR routers. Right. So let's jump into it. Okay. So in Wi-Fi 6 era, as you know, Huawei is the vendor who is leading in terms of throughput in Wi-Fi 6, right? So we are almost double of the industry throughputs. Our flagship AP is providing 10.75 Gbps throughputs, right? And in this new campus networks, we required end-to-end connectivity with very high throughputs, right? So there should be no bottlenecks. And when we talk about end-to-end, we means from access point or a switch port till the core switch and up to the router, right? And in between, if there is firewalls, between firewall, it should be very high throughputs connectivity. And the bottleneck for other vendors is the the access points, because their throughputs are almost half of Huawei, right? So our campus solution is end-to-end and provide very high throughputs, which meets the requirement of Wi-Fi 6 and also goes hand in hand with 5G handover, right? And we deploy in these services in a unified manner, right? And there is no packet loss in our campus switches, because, you know, as the throughputs and the services requirements gets higher, there are higher throughputs, high burst of data, and then there are more chances of packet loss. So to deal with that, we have new technology. It's called cell switching, right? Other vendors has packet switching. So I will go in detail of that technology as well. Right. So in CloudCampus solution and building it and making it ideal for Wi-Fi 6, right? So we when we talk about Wi-Fi 6, it's our edge. And edge to cloud is a new concept where we talk about that the edge devices should have processing powers, should be very powerful, and should processing chips inside, right? And in between all the devices, whether it's switching, routing, or firewalls, should be capable to support very high throughputs of the new requirements of Wi-Fi 6, right? So as you know, Huawei is leading in 5G market, as well as we have brought those technologies in terms of antenna chips and design. We have brought that into our Wi-Fi 6, and that's how we are leading the throughputs in Wi-Fi 6. our solution is more stable. We have brought in smart antenna, which gives 20% more coverage than other vendors. Only one other vendor has the smart antenna in the market, but which is not even close to Huawei. We provide dynamic turbo and other features as lossless. My colleague will go in more details of the Wi-Fi 6 solution, right? So we support all different scenarios of the industry. So any vertical we talk about, we can support, and we are enabling them and supporting them in digitization, right? So we talk about 10G connectivity. When we provide 10G throughputs in our Wi-Fi 6, so then we require 10G connectivity in our access switches. And when we provide 10G connectivity in our access switches, that means we required 40 gig and 100 gig as uplink from access to core switch, so that we can justify and there is non-blocking throughputs. Our S-series flagship switches provides the highest number of 100 gig ports and the highest number of throughputs. So I will go in detail of the S-series campus switches, right? So we go through the architecture, how it used to be, right? So we had 3-layer architecture. We had 1G or 10G uplink from access switches to aggregation, and then aggregation to core was 10 gig. Then we came into the VXLAN, and VXLAN is fairly new for people at this moment, right? And some organizations have adopted it already, where we are providing a layer 2 across the whole data center and the whole organization, where we can move application between sites, right? But it's a bit complicated. In terms of implementation, in terms of management. For customers required some expertise as well. To make it simplified, we have our access switches and core switches connectivity on 25 and up to 100 gig, right? So when we provide this higher throughputs between access and core switch, and we then stack the core switches through CSS, so the whole topology becomes very simplified and we do not have any bottlenecks, and it becomes a non-blocking architecture. This is a high-level overview of our CloudCampus S-series switches, right? So which you see on the screen is just the high-level series and models. We have many more models in them. And what are the challenges are solved by these switches, right? And what are the very high-level highlights of these switches? These are Wi-Fi 6 ready, right? So it provides 6 times higher switching performance with the industry. We are the only vendor providing hybrid switch with optical and electrical ports in the same switch, right? The solution is IoT ready. All of our campus switches with H series or higher as a chassis series provides inbuilt integrated wireless controller with different capabilities. Our flagship 1 to 700 provides up to 10,000 access points support in the chassis switch, which is highest in the industry again. Our solution is cloud ready. It's ready to integrate in our cloud solution, which is iMaster NCE, which provides automatic deployment and intelligent operation and maintenance, which makes the whole life cycle of implementation and operation and maintenance much more simplified and easy. Then our CloudCampus S-series switches, we provide quality ready. What is quality ready? We are very familiar with the term quality of service, and it used to be implemented by many customers for different services like voice, video, and different services, but it was implemented manually, requires a lot of configuration, and it was up to port level. It was a class and port level. It was not up to user and services level. The difference between quality of service and hierarchical quality of service is that hierarchical quality of service provides you up to services and user level quality of service. And we'll go into that details as well. Just to give you a hint, and the objective of this session is to give you this realization that Huawei is leading in the switching industry, right? And how our switches are superior to all the competitors. And it's in front of you in the table, and you can verify all these facts on your own as well. right? So Huawei flagship switch, chassis switch, which is our flagship switch, as we use it as a core switch, comes in 3 different flavors, 4 line cards, 8 and 12. It provides 4.8 terabits per second as bandwidth per slot. So each line card slot provides you 4.8 terabits per second, which is highest in the industry. Okay, so H3C is a Chinese vendor, not very famous in the Middle East. But then you can check with Cisco flagship switch, which is almost half of the per slot throughput as compared to Huawei. Okay, then on one line cards, we provide 2400 gig ports, whereas our competitors cannot provide. Cisco can provide 12. So this gives you the idea that how much density we have brought in our flagship core switches. The buffer is very high, which is 4 GB per card. As compared, you can see the different competitors is very, very low. And that's because we are providing HQS, and HQS requires higher buffer, right? So if we make more queues and we goes up to service level queues, we requires more buffer, and that's why our buffer capacity is much higher. We have integrated wireless LAN controller, so we do not occupy any slot for the wireless LAN controller. It's built in, and we can support up to 10,000 access points, whereas you can see the competitor, one is providing 1,000 and Cisco do not provide in their flagship chassis as wireless controller. Then we provide cell switching, whereas competitors provide packet switching. And I will go into details of this, what is cell switching and packet switching. As you know that we have SFUs in the switches, which provide switching, switch forwarding unit, right? So this provides switching capacity. We add multiple SFUs in the chassis, which works as N+1, right? So the line card forwards the packets to the SFU, and then SFU forwards it to another line card. What happens is in the packet switching, that as a whole packet, there is no load balancing between SFUs, right? So from 2 different line cards, the packets can be sent to the same SFU, which makes a congestion on the SFU. Whereas in cell switching, we split the packets and load balance those cells, we call them cells. We load balance them among the SFUs and then combine them again on the exiting SFU, and then it exits as a packet out of the line card. So we make load balancing between SFUs, and then there is no congestion. This is a patent technology of Huawei and unique, not adopted by any other vendor. This is the MPU, main processing unit of this flagship chassis. So this controller, wireless controller capability is built in the MPU, right? And then we have 2 types of SFUs. One is 3.2 and one is 4.8, right? So for example, if we have a project where we are competing with a vendor which has very low switching capacities and there is budget constraints, so we can go for 3.2 Tbps instead of 4.8. These are some line cards which are supported, right? So we'll share these slides, we'll not spend time on this. This is a new card launch in this switch series. So it has 40 25G ports. As you know, like now more and more switches are coming as access switches, which has uplink of 25G. Previously it was 10G, 40G, more common, but now 25G is into the picture. So now we have launched a new line card in the core switch to support these uplinks of the access switches of 25G. Now this is our second series of chassis switch, which is again used as a core switch, but we use it in the branches and campuses, whereas the flagship series, which we previously talked about, provides very high throughputs, very high buffer capacity, and we use them in the head offices of very big enterprises, right? So we have this flavor which we can bring into the market, and we have 2 different series. In terms of different projects, we can position these in different projects. If there is a pricing constraints, we can come down to this series. And we can compete with the vendor, because I assure you that other vendors cannot give you this much flavor in the chassis series, right? All the vendors have one series of chassis which has 2 or 3 different capacities, like 4-line cards, 8-line cards. But we are bringing you 2 different series of chassis switches, and both are very high performing. So as you can see, you compare them with Cisco C9400 series. When we compare it with this series specifically, okay, so this gives you an idea of throughputs as well as pricing, right? So you don't compare it with the C9600 series, because we have a different chassis model for that one. So as you can see, per slot bandwidth is highest among all competitors. The port density is highest among all competitors. 10G ports is highest in the market. And we in this chassis, we can support up to 4,000 access points, whereas 200 are supported by Cisco. Distributed forwarding, flexible uplinks, multiple different variety of uplinks can be used, and heat dissipation is on the back side, on the rear side, as compared to other vendors which are on the side, right? So 99.99% reliability. As you know, that 99.99% means that each and every component is redundant in this switch. If any component is not redundant, it cannot achieve 99.999%. So starting from MPU, SFU, line cards can be used as redundant. We have a CMU model, which is used for the monitoring of the solution, right? So gives us a very detailed device management, gives us the very detailed in-depth of fan, power supplies, all the statistics. Okay, so now as in the previous chassis, it was MPU, here we called it MCUD, right? So MCUD can support up to 1,000 access points. It's mainly used in the 3-slot chassis, which is 7703. And then we have 7706 and 7712, which can support up to 4,000 access points. And the switching capacity also increases with it. These are some of the line cards supported by this switch. This is the new line card which we have just launched for PoE++, right? So this is some of the customers like Aramco and very big customers which uses these switches as access switches, right? You must be familiar and you have worked with Aramco. This is what they go for, that they use for these chassis switches as access switches, and then the required PoE capabilities in chassis switches. So now we have brought in PoE++ line card, right? So which can provide PoE++ on all 48 ports, and can also provide 60 watt. As you know, PoE++ is a standard of 60 watt. This is the naming convention. I will not go into details of this, but this is very helpful. When we share the slides, you can go through this. And once you understand the naming convention, you see the name of any switch, you clearly know that what's the capability of this switch, what is the uplink, what is the downlink, right? All the details you can get from the naming convention. Very easy and very helpful. This is our multi-gig switch. We have brought in Wi-Fi 6 with very high throughputs in the market. And to support those 10 gig capabilities of the Wi-Fi 6 access points, we needed multi-gig switches which can give 10 gig capability and not 2.5 or 5 only, right? Unlike some vendors which provide in their multi-gig only up to 5G in the, because their access points are supporting up to 5G or 6G. But because our Wi-Fi 6 provides up to 10G, so we need multi-gig switches which can support up to 10G, right? So there is 24 and 48 ports flavor. And again, the switching capacity with the multi-gig series of C9300, as you know, in Cisco, in C9300, there is a multi-gig series and there is non-multi-gig series. So we are comparing it with multi-gig. Our throughputs are almost 3 times of Cisco switching capacity. Uplinks capabilities are very extended and very diverse. Integrated wireless controller can support up to 1,000 access points. This is one of the points you need to keep in your mind, that as a wireless controller capabilities, all of our chassis switches and access switches in H series are providing very high capabilities and throughputs and saves a lot of cost for the customers rather than going for a separate wireless controller, right? This is one of the unique features of our Wi-Fi 6 and in terms of switching. This is our S7732 is our hybrid switch. This is a unique switch in the market which provides fiber ports as well as copper ports, right? This is a unique switch. And what is hybrid optical electrical cable? This is a unique cable which has fiber as well as copper in it. And the benefit of this is that you can go beyond 100 meters. You can go up to 200 meters with this switch and Huawei Wi-Fi 6, right? You can go up to standard 100 meter as well and can still provide 10G, but you can go up to 200 meter with a hybrid electrical cable. Of course, as you know that this cable will utilize 2 ports on the switch, one from fiber and one from copper. So it's a bit expensive, but it's very suitable for the scenarios when there is a distance more than 100 meters and you don't have any other way to provide power as well as data to the endpoints. So in these scenarios, this switch is the best choice. Now we are comparing a model which gives you very high throughputs as well as on the 1 gig PoE plus models, right? So as you know, Cisco C9300 has multi-gig as well as a simple series of 1G. Now we are comparing it now with 1G, which has a throughputs of 256, where Huawei is providing 336 Gbps. Very flexible uplinks, right? Very high chip buffer, integrated wireless controller, as I mentioned, is highest among other vendors, right? So support up to 1000 access points, comes in 24 and 48 PoE and non-PoE models. This is our standard switch. Now this is a switch this is our go-to switch in most of the scenarios, provides redundant dual power supply. Complete layer 3 switch goes up to BGP. So can be used in different scenarios. For very small customers, you can give them as a core switch if they have 1 or 2 switches. That's why we are providing full capabilities of layer 3, as well as in different scenarios when we talk about like installation of iMaster NCE, and we are doing the access management, or the authentication point is our core switch, right? As you must be familiar that how we deploy NAC solutions, right? So the very normal standard in the market is to deploy it on the access switches, but there is a new model in Huawei where we do all the authentication on the core switch rather than on the access switches, right? So it reduces the complication, and we have only one point because both core switches become as stack, so it becomes as one. So we have one point of authentication. In this scenario, we need layer 3 connectivity between access switches and core switches. So this is the switch we go to. And also for the customers which are looking for simple 1 GPoE switch and asking for dual power supply, this is the model. Right, so these are the capabilities and some of the features which I've already mentioned. And then we have L series, which is a cost-effective model of the same. It provides 8 ports, 24 ports, and 48 ports, but it has a built-in 1 power supply, right? So this is cost-effective solution, layer 2 switch, which can go up to static routes, right? And also supports VRP as well. So it's like a layer 2 plus switch, right? But the only limitation is that it supports 1 power supply. So if customer is looking for dual power supply, we go with standard model. Now we comes to our industrial switch. This is very unique switch in the market. Many vendors have industrial switches, but we have unique advantage in terms of we are providing end-to-end solution. So we provide the smart pole, we provide the solar system, and this switch can be sold along with the complete solution as well as separate to the customer. The features in this switch is that it comes all in one, right? So it has the casing, You do not require a separate casing. You don't have to purchase a separate casing. It has a built-in fiber splicing, so you don't have to take care of that as well. So the installation at site becomes very easy, right? It has built-in surge protector. It provides 12 volt DC output, 24 volt DC, AC output, and 220 volt AC output, as well as PoE, right? So you can give power output to different devices. As you know, like on a smart pole, there can be one PTZ camera, two bullet cameras. So in those kind of scenarios, this switch provides the PoE output as well as 12 volt DC, 24 and 220 volt AC as well. Very easy operation and maintenance. Operating temperature is -40 to +55, IP55 rating, right? And it has built-in sensors for the, if some unauthorized access is trying to open the casing of the switch, you get alarm. Also, there is a linkage that the PTZ camera automatically tilts towards the switch to gives you a more clear view of who is opening the switch. This is an integration which can happen with our intelligent vision solution, surveillance solution. Now, this is the inside look of this industrial switch. As you can see, it comes in two variants, 4-port and 8-port. 4-port is not non-PoE, but the 8-port is PoE plus, right? And it gives you two 10G uplink ports as well for the fiber. And then it gives you, as we saw in the previous slide, 12 volt DC, 24 and 220 AC outputs, and fiber management array built in. Now we'll go through quickly on some of the features and highlights. MACsec is a very well-known feature, and it's been in the industry for a very long time now, right? So for end-to-end layer 2 encryption, MACsec capabilities are there in our CloudCampus switches, right? And also it's provided by the whole end-to-end series. This is the unique thing that from LAN, from access switches models up to the core switches models, and then we provide MACsec line cards in our routers as well. So the unique difference in Huawei is that we provide it end-to-end. Now we go through hierarchical quality of service, which I talk about. This is again a unique feature and only provided in Huawei switches. And how it's benefiting the customers, right? At the end, we talk about customer, we talk about user and his experience and how satisfied he is. This is the pain point of all network engineers, right? Now, as you can see, there is gray and yellow, which is port and class level. This is the level up to which other vendors can go, but we provide up to user and service level. When we talk about user, of course, you have some access management solution. So it can be iMaster NCE or any access management solution from other vendors, right? Where you have different users and the users has been imported from Active Directory or some other LDAP. So in this case, we provide quality of service for different services for one single user, right? So if one user is using voice or data or video, we provide scheduling for that. And then we have schedule for users, and then it comes to the class view and port view, which is supported by other vendors. So we gives much more hierarchical quality of service to the customer. Right, so that's the CloudCampus S series switches. I hope it's clear to you, and you know now you know, and what are the highlights you are taking from these switches. As we went through multiple slides, and we clearly saw, starting from our flagship chassis switches down to our access switches, when we compare it with our competitors, the throughput, the port density, and the buffer size, all of them are higher. So next time, if someone tells you that pricing of Huawei is lower because it's a Chinese vendor or their capabilities are lower, you have to tell them, and you have to show them these slides. You have to show them and tell them technically that in terms of switching capacity, we are beating all the competitors. In terms of port density, in terms of buffer, So each and every component, we are beating them in terms of integrated wireless controller, right? So these are some of the points you have to take with you. And next time, if you are presenting the solution to the customer, you have to highlight these points. Now we'll quickly go through our USG next generation AI firewalls, some of the challenges in the industry, and then we'll go through some of the highlights and how Huawei firewalls are superior in the industry and how we are solving those challenges. So the first challenge is that the types of threads are changing. Starting from 1990, it came in the form of virus, then it changes to worm, DDoS, phishing, Trojan horse, web threads, advanced threads, right? So you can see the evolution of these threads, and it's ever changing. So if someone thinks that they can manually handle these and stop these, it's impossible without a next generation firewall, right? It cannot be done manually. Now this is first challenge. The latest threats are machine-to-machine attacks, right? So now in the IoT era, there is much more communication between machine-to-machine, and now there are threads and attacks on these machine-to-machine communication. Then this was the first challenge. Then we come to frequently thread variations, right? So the threads are changing. The same threads, like we talk about virus itself is changing. We talk about web threads itself is changing. Ransomwares are changing. So you can see starting from the first attack of 2017 up to 2019, the global imposter ransomware, it changed 4 versions within 2 years. WannaCry is a very famous ransomware. It changes within 1 year 3 different times, right? In 2 months. So these are the variations within the same threads as well. And then there are multi-dimensional attacks increasing the encrypted service, right? So it's difficult to detect. As we know, like more and more communication between our clients and servers is encrypted and it's SSL based, right? So it increases the challenge for the firewall as well to detect those threats. It's good in a way that it encrypts our password, it encrypts our credentials, but again, then it becomes difficult to detect those threats. So as a source of Verizon in 2017, internal threads accounted for 34%, which increased year by year. When we talk about internal threads, the organization inside, right, below the firewall. And then in 2019, 75% of web traffic is encrypted. Now we are into 2021. This number is even higher now, right? So all the traffic, almost 80% of the traffic is encrypted. So to detect those threads, we need firewalls which can very efficiently handle SSL inspection. So what are the expectations? We require super performance out of these firewalls. When we talk about performance, we need SSL inspection on the hardware basis, right? So we provide 5 times the industry of threat detection performance in our firewalls. Intelligent defense. So it should be an AI defense which gives you out of the box for unknown threat detection up to 99% accuracy, and very simplified operation and maintenance. So the OpEx can be reduced up to 80%. Now we'll go into Huawei AI firewall, traditional highlights and new innovations, right? So this is one typical firewall of Huawei one model, right? So just to highlight what are the different components. So when you see the different model, they will look very much similar from the outside, but different throughputs and capabilities. So we provide SSID and different flexibility. We can have 64 GB SSD. We can have up to 240 GB SSD for the logs and different purposes. We have diverse interfaces, 1G, 10G, 40G, different ports, right? We have only one U firewall, so it saves a lot of space in the data centers. The fans and the power supplies are redundant. And then intelligent conversion and saving power, right? So when there are ports which are not connected or automatically shut down the power supply to save the cost. So it saves up to 30% power consumption, right? These are some of the high level highlights. So we'll go in details. Now, this is the portfolio of our next generation AI firewalls. So we have branch series, we have branch and a small campus series, which is 6525, right? 65 different series, but we call it 6500 series, right? Then we go into large campuses and small data centers. Then we call it 6600 series. We have a separate series which has higher throughputs. But as you can see on the screen, all of them looks very similar from the outlook, right? Because the capabilities and the density is increased, but we are saving the space for the customers in the data center. So all of them are 1U. Then we go into the chassis-based next generation firewall, which is USG 9500. Now these are data center firewalls, provides very high throughputs. As you know, we have perimeter firewall and data center firewall. So when we talk about data center firewalls, we need firewalls which can provide very high density and very high throughputs and port density. We have anti-DDoS solution. Again, we have 1825, which is provides up to 20 Gbps. So suitable for branches and small data centers. And for big data centers, we have anti-DDoS of 8000. We provide for the management of these firewalls. So you, for example, you have multiple firewalls in different sites, in different branches, and you want to manage them from one central point, because the policy management becomes very cumbersome when you have multiple branches. So you can do that all through SECO Manager, right? So all the firewalls are integrated. You can manage their policies and management from one single platform. We have HiSec Insight, which provides you a very detailed insight on visual basis, right, of your whole campus and enterprise. And then we have sandboxing solution, which is called FireHunter 6000. So we'll go in more details of their features. This is one of a very common requirement from many customers, from SMB, from mid customers, that they will ask you that do the firewall supports link load balancing of the internet, right? So we provide a very, very detailed load balancing of the internet links. We provide static intelligent uplink selection. For example, if you have two internet connections, you can set link weight, so the load is balanced on the basis of link weight, or you can select interface bandwidth. So on the basis of that bandwidth, it's balanced between them, right? Or you can select link priority, so it will be load balanced among them. And then we come into dynamic intelligent uplink selection, where you can select on the basis of latency, jitter, packet loss as well. So you can configure those SLAs, and then the internet link is selected on the basis of those. So any link which has lower latency will be automatically selected. Also, you can select on the basis of applications. So for example, if you want for some specific applications to go through one ISP, but for others you want to go through other ISP, so it can be done in the firewall as well. You can select between, let's say, a wireless or 5G link, and as well as on the fiber link. So you want to go through the fiber link on most of the time, and if it fails, then you want to go through the wireless. So you can do that as well. And for different enterprises, if they want to go to their own data center for some specific applications or in-house applications through MPLS, and they want to go to the internet for some other purposes, so that selection can be done. So PV provides very detailed multi-egress link selection. Then there are multi-dimensional, right, and refined control. So this is combined, called as security policy control, right? So we have input of very different types, and this is like a very generic. So if we talk about any next generation firewall, these are the features, but we just want to tell you that these are all provided, right? So different types of access, users, services, applications, geographical locations, right, and thread information. So all these informations are provided in a visual basis, right? So you can see all the thread detection, all from which region it is generated, and much more details of which country it is generated. So how many percentage of threads are generated from which area, all those details are, you can see in the visual basis, right? Policy redundancy analysis, this is for the optimization. So for example, if you have configured some redundant policies, it will let you know that you have configured redundant policies, so you can reduce and remove the load on the firewall. Policy matching analysis, it gives you which policies are hit. So these are very fairly common requirements, and these are provided out of the box. Now, let's talk in much more details. What is most firewall vendors are providing? They provide you a firewall of next generation, right? But then for CIS, as you know, it's for critical internet security. It's a standard which implements different standards for the threads of unknown, which are unknown threads. So for advanced persistent threat detection products, so we go through a complete life cycle of CIS, right? And for unknown threads, for file restorations, we send the files to sandbox for unknown threads, and we create a separate environment where we replicate the scenario, and we try to find out that what is it safe or not safe, because it's unknown, right? So for organization which goes on much more critical, they don't let unknown files go through because it's not detected as a thread, so they will let it go. So in those scenarios, we have sandbox solutions, right, for unknown threads and for advanced persistent threads. In Huawei AI firewall solution, we have built-in Huawei-developed advanced persistent threat detection engine, right? So we up to 50% of the advanced persistent threats are detected inside the firewall and do not need to be sent to the sandbox. This is one of the really big advantage, because as you know that once we send the files to the sandbox and we replicate it and go through the whole process, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of struggle as well. So if the firewall inbuilt APT detection gives you up to 50% of the threats detected automatically, it saves a lot of time and cost for you. And you also, for customers which don't want to spend a lot of money on the sandboxing, they can also eliminate that as well if they don't have the budget. And it has built in Huawei developed malicious file detection engine, which is CDE, which gives an accuracy of up to 97% unknown malicious file detection. Now we talk about Huawei IPS solution, right? Huawei IPS solution gives out of the box 70% of threat detection, which was targeted for 75% up to 2020, which we have already achieved. So we provide now up to 75% against the industry average, which is 25%, right? So very strong IPS. There is one is a baseline. When you get a box out of the box, you get a baseline threat protection in our IPS. But then we have cloud AI, which is intelligent signature protection, right? So Huawei intelligent signature protection in the cloud is continuously updating the signature base of firewall, which gives you detection and threat protection of the unknown exploits up to 75%, which is again very high as compared to the industry average, which is 25%. As I mentioned that more and more traffic is now SSL based and encrypted, right? So there are different scenarios where like a user which is sitting inside the office and accessing the internet, right? So in this case, the firewall becomes as an SSL proxy. Then there are scenarios where a user wants to access a server from outside. In this case, the server can act as SSL uninstallation. And there are scenarios where it's called SSL non-encrypted detection or decryption and mirroring with third-party APT products as well, right? So it does the SSL offloading and then it sends the traffic to the APT third-party APT product, which can detect these threads in a plain data instead of SSL or unencrypted data. And then unencrypted data, again, when it's sent back to the firewall, it can be sent to the server as well, right? So there are different scenarios, but the SSL decryption, which I want to highlight, is SSL decryption in the firewall is done on the hardware basis and provides 5 times higher performance, right, into the industry average. And this is one of the very big highlight, because usually when we look at the data sheets of the firewalls, we need to look at this this throughput of the firewall, which is very important, because as I mentioned, now up to 80% of the traffic is encrypted. So when we talk about the firewall capabilities, we have to look at this feature, that what is the SSL inspection throughput of this firewall. Then very detailed inspection and visualized inspection of the whole scenario, right? So we talk about the IoT and terminal access. So we give a very detailed policy management and protection. For example, fingerprint of the endpoint terminals. So we can block different terminals on the basis of profiling. For example, if it's a device of it's not registered, so you block it, right? Then we go one step ahead, and then we talk about block unauthorized services. So for example, we have made a profile that which allows Hikvision cameras, but it doesn't allow DAWA cameras. So we can block services from DAWA, but we can allow services from Hikvision, right? Then we go one step ahead, and then we block malicious traffic, in which, for example, Hikvision traffic is allowed, but we completely detect threads in this traffic, and we block and block exploits in this traffic. CDE, which I just previously mentioned, can detect up to 97% of the threads, right? So it analyzes masses of samples to extract virus features. Different unknown files or malicious file detection accuracy of the CDE is up to 97%, which is highest in the industry, right? This is a feature which gives you, like, for example, if there are different encrypted files are sent inside the for example, there is a malicious, or we call it phishing email sent to you, right? So if it crosses through your email security, or okay, and then it's inside your LAN environment, right? Now, if somebody clicks on it, this file will start contacting its server and start downloading some files. So those malicious files are encrypted, and the detection of these unknown files needs required accuracy, and CDE, our own developed solution, gives you up to 97% detection and accuracy. Then continuous defending against the latest threats. As I mentioned, that unknown threats required are the threats which are the most challenging, right? And we provide local APT, advanced persistent threat detection, up to 50% in our firewalls, and we do not require a sandboxing solution for it as a separate. So for customers which do not have a budget for sandboxing, can benefit this feature out of the firewall as well. Very easy operation and maintenance of the firewalls. The GUI is very user friendly, right? We have different tabs for the configuration and the monitoring. So in the monitoring tab, you can see all the details and features, the interface throughputs, the detection, the logs, the policy matching. Very easy, and very, if someone has worked on any firewall, can easily understand. We provide and support zero-touch provisioning through different mediums. DHCP we provide through USB as well, right? So any firewall installed on any branch, if it gets an IP address through DHCP, will contact the cloud management solution, and then it will contact the Agile Controller Campus, which used to be Agile Controller Campus, now is iMaster NCE, right? So SICO Manager, as I mentioned, gives you a unified management and configuration for the policy management. And then now SICO Manager has been integrated inside the iMaster NCE now. So you will have one unified solution as iMaster NCE, which gives you all these features. This is the last slide. And I just want to highlight that anyone who is associated with security and firewall is very familiar with NSS Labs. NSS Labs is a third party which tests all the firewalls, okay, in their lab. So it's not on the basis of the market share. It's not on the basis of any other factors. It's purely on the basis of the technical capabilities and the security protection of the firewalls, right? And it's been tested by NSS Labs, and it got recommended rating, right? And highest cost effectiveness of Huawei Firewall, right? So TCO per protected Mbps is the highest among all vendors, right? And you can see if, Fortinet is below Huawei Firewall, and in terms of TCO per protected Mbps is the highest, right? So per MB cost of Huawei Firewall is lowest in all vendors. Next time you see a data sheet, and usually our competitors plays in the form of like firewall throughput. Now, firewall throughput is a simple throughput, or you can say a switching and routing throughput without implementation of all policies, right? So without the implementation of all policies, firewall doesn't make any sense. So there is no need of high throughputs of firewall throughputs. The main thing you have to look is the real life throughput of the firewall, which means that you have implemented all the policies, and after that, what's the throughput? And then you compare the models between different vendors. Right, so this is one of the highlight. You can show it to the customers that Huawei has been recognized and received the recommended as NSS labs, and provides higher throughputs and higher protections as well as very low cost. And Huawei has received Gartner Peer Insight Customer Choice Award in 2021. So we have received 4.9 ranking out of 5, which and ranked as #1 among the global vendors. Just to give you a very brief that what is Peer Insight. Peer Insight is where the customers comes on the Gartner website and ranks and give markings to the products which they are using. And this ranking is not done by partners, not done by vendors, it's done by customers. So the customers have used Huawei firewalls and they have ranked them highest among all vendors. That's it. That's all from my side. And if you have any questions, you can ask them in the question and answer, and I will answer them. And thank you very much for attending. And now I will hand it over to my colleague, Abdullah Wahid. Abdullah, over to you. Okay, let me make Abdullah host. Hello, everyone. Just hold on for 1 minute. Abdullah is sharing. He has some technical difficulty. He will start in just 1 minute.
Hi, Irfan. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Abdullah, we can hear you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to the session. This is Abdullah Waheed. I'm a pre-sales consultant handling Huawei business in Redington. So today we are going to discuss about Huawei Four Engines. The two engines are already explained by my colleague Irfan. So today our main focus will be we'll have a quick overview about Huawei corporate briefing, and then we are going to focus on two engines, that is air engine and net engine. So let's quickly go through Huawei overview. As we all know that Huawei is a global company having 188,000 employees globally. Then Huawei has been focusing on R&D, and Huawei is investing a lot in R&D. And if we see the employees, only for the R&D they have a dedicated employees of 96,000. Then Huawei has a presence in more than 170 plus countries, and Huawei have 15 R&D centers globally, and Huawei is ranking among 49th position in the global Fortune 500. Regarding the business group, Huawei has four business groups mainly. The first one is the consumer group. In the consumer group, they are dealing with normally with the handheld devices, with the laptops or with the smart gadgets. Then we have the carrier business groups. Carrier business group is the pioneer group for Huawei, because Huawei started their operations with the carrier domain. And as of now, we see Huawei is holding the biggest market share in carrier part. And the products, what we have in carrier is like the microwave and the antennas and all the telecom equipment. Then we have the third group, that is enterprise business group, in which we are dealing with. So all the products which comes with within the data center, they lie under this business group. Then there is the fourth group, which is recently launched, that is Cloud and AI, in which Huawei is offering the cloud services. So let's review the market share, what Huawei is holding as of now. So in terms of routers, Huawei is number one globally now, and for the Ethernet switch, Huawei is sharing the number two position globally, and in the SDN controller as well, Huawei is holding the number two position. For the other technologies like data center, WLAN, and security, Huawei can see the year-on-year growth annually. So these are the four engines. As I said, that my colleague Irfan has already explained the two of them, which is the cloud engine and HiSec engine. So now we are going to focus on air engine and the net engine. So we need to see we need to understand what exactly the issues we are facing before Huawei have released these air engines. So what challenges and what pain points and what issues we were facing in the wireless area, especially. One of the main issue was the bandwidth issue. There were many application scenarios which required higher bandwidth, and many applications required the high throughput. So it was not possible with the Wi-Fi 5 case. And another issue was the capacity issue in the previous Wi-Fi technologies. Specifically, we talk about for the high density scenarios. For example, if we are sitting in the meeting rooms, if we are sitting in the conference rooms, or more high density public areas like stadium and classroom. So in these kind of scenarios, we always need to have the higher concurrency, where more and more number of users can be connected within the same AP. So the capacity was also one of the issue. And the third issue was the latency issue. Latency issue also, we were also facing and witnessing in the previous technologies. Specifically, we talk about the voice and video. While specifically, we take an example of any hospitality sector. You are staying in a hotel and you are moving in the corridors, or you are moving from one room to another room. And while you are on the call, on a Skype call or any voice call or video call, you might face some interruptions, and you might face some disconnections while on the move. So this was also one of the issues which we were facing, and we need to have something. We need to have something which are like which the technology which are delay sensitive and which require zero latency, so that we can have the best and smooth experience. So all of these issues and pain points were there before the Wi-Fi 6, and somehow Huawei have overcome all of these issues and pain points. So Huawei have introduced the SmartCampus solution and the Wi-Fi 6 solution to overcome all these pain points and all these issues which are being discussed in the previous slides. The Wi-Fi 6 basically, the major reason of the Wi-Fi 6 and the main benefit of the Wi-Fi 6 is the higher bandwidth and the higher capacity. And the third major difference is the lower latency. So all the issues which are discussed and highlighted, these are all covered by Huawei Wi-Fi 6. Also for the network management part, Huawei also have the MACsec solution, which is all-in-one solution, and it can also help to make the network very simple and organized. I'm going to discuss this MACsec also. I'm going to highlight some of the points in the further slide. So just we need to understand what the issues we were facing and how Huawei Wi-Fi 6 and Air Engine have overcome all these issues and pain points. So let's discuss more about Huawei Wi-Fi 6. Huawei Air Engine Wi-Fi 6 have many models, as you can see in the slide. For every scenario, for every requirement, Huawei have a dedicated AP. Like for example, for hospitality sector, for open area, for outdoor. I will explain also this in further slide. But let's focus on the key technologies which Huawei is offering in the Wi-Fi 6. All these APs comes with internal and external antennas both, and they are for indoor and outdoor both. So let's discuss something about the key features in Huawei Wi-Fi 6. What makes this Wi-Fi 6 stand out from the competitors? So the first thing is the smart radio. Having this technology, the smart radio, it allows to have 30 plus concurrent terminals at 100 MB. Then Huawei have the QoS management as well. QoS management is basically the quality of service, and this technology is powered by 5G. And Huawei APs are using dynamic turbo. This dynamic turbo technology is basically is the QoS management, which can dynamically detect the application types, and after detecting the application type, it will implement the HQoS. So basically, why we are implementing this, just to assure the bandwidth, or just to guarantee the bandwidth to the user. And also Huawei APs have the ultra low latency. By having this ultra low latency, we can have the best and smooth experience, specifically for the real-time applications like voice and video, also for the augmented realities, and for the virtual realities, and for the voice, of course. For the smart antennas, also Huawei Wi-Fi 6 APs are having the smart antennas. Different APs have different number of antennas and within the Wi-Fi 6. So smart antenna basically is using this beamforming technology, and this with the help of this beamforming technology, we can achieve 20% greater coverage and more stronger signals as compared to the traditional APs, or as compared to the Wi-Fi 5. So by having this beamforming technology, as I said, we can achieve the greater coverage. So the end result will be the full coverage, or the blind spot free coverage. Huawei APs are also supporting lossless roaming, and with the help of this lossless roaming, you can also have the smooth and best experience for the video conferencing and for voice calls, as I said, while we are on the move. Then Huawei APs also supports built-in IoT cards, and Huawei APs are the only APs which are supporting 4 modes, which is like 2 times more as compared to the industry standard. And what is the benefit? What is the benefit of having this IoT card slot in the AP? Is basically you are going to have less interference in the network, because the less number of devices, the wireless devices you have, the less interference it will be. And another benefit will be by integrating AP and IoT slot within the same equipment, it can reduce the total cost of ownership by 50%. So customer don't have to invest in different devices for this purpose. And the scenarios you can see where we can pitch the solution, and where we can present this, and where we can sell this in the education sector, in the public Wi-Fi service, in the office sectors where 4K video is required, and also in the factory areas where in the future and now as well we can witness the AGV, automatic guided vehicles are there to support this zero packet loss. So here are some of the portfolio for Wi-Fi 6 and some of the APs that we have. There are different types of AP, as I said, for both indoor and outdoor. Also for a specific requirement, like for example, if we want to, if we have a requirement of a retail store, of a small office, or any corridor area, we can propose this CloudEngine 576121, which is the latest AP of Huawei, and this is a ceiling mounted AP. Then we have 5761 11W and 12. This is the hospitality sector, which is normally mounted in the hotel area, in the hotel rooms basically, where you can take the PoE out from the 4 ports. By default, it has 4 LAN ports. So one model supports only the 4 LAN ports, and the other model supports the 4 PoE out. Then we have high density AP for outdoor and indoor both. This is also ceiling mounted APs and can be recommended for the waiting rooms, for the auditoriums and the conference rooms. Then we have another model, which is the 8760. This also comes with both scenarios for indoor and outdoor, and also for internal antennas and external antennas. So the APs which you can see with R, ending with R, like 6760R, they are for the outdoor scenarios, and the APs which you can see ending with E, like 8760R, that means outdoor, and X1E means having external antennas. So this models comes in all the variants for indoor, outdoor, and with built-in and external antennas. And this AP have 16 antennas, which is also the maximum number of antennas in the industry. Then we have the flagship model, that is 8760X1 Pro. This one is a flagship model, and this is an indoor AP having 16 antennas, the maximum number of antennas, and this AP supports the highest bandwidth for the industry standard, that is 10 gigabit, and it can be recommended for 4K video conferencing in the classroom and in the conference room. Then we have iMaster NCE. Let's have a brief about this network management system. As I said in the previous slide, that this is an all-in-one solution, or we can also call it as one-stop solution. Why we call this one-stop or all-in-one? Because from the same platform, we can utilize this as an NMS. We can utilize this as a authentication controller. We can utilize this as analyzer, and we can also utilize it as a AI platform. So it's a complete GUI platform where we can do the network provisioning and the network provisioning for the underlay and the overlay networks through the GUI. And through the GUI, it can be carried out really fast as compared to the CLI mode. We can save a lot of time. And for the service provisioning also, this iMaster NC have the plug and play features. Plug and play means that once the device is all connected to the network, it will be automatically authenticated and it will be added to the specific category, what we have added in iMaster NC. So once the device is successfully authenticated, it will, it can tell you the type of device, it can tell you the model of the device and the brand of device as well. Also, we can implement specific policies as well based on the device model and device type. So once device is authenticated, these policies will also be implemented automatically. And one of the key feature also we have here in iMaster NC is the spoofing feature. For example, if any end device which is intentionally or unintentionally it is unplugged, and instead of that device, some other some hacker or some other guy plugged in the device for malicious activity. So the alarm will be generated and it will be notified to the administrator. So we can say that after the successful network and service provisioning, we can have the complete visibility for our network, specifically in the visualize and graphic form. So this is not only giving you the complete picture of your network, but it is also identifying the faults and identifying the faults within minutes. So the operation and maintenance time will be reduced to instead of hours to minutes. Then we also have this Campus Insight, which is AI. As I said in the previous slide, that iMaster NC also supports AI platform. So let's discuss what are the values AI is adding to enhance the network performance. So by using this Campus Insight in the network, it will automatically connect the network data, and the network data will be collected in real time. And by collecting this data, like the telemetry technology is being used to collect the data in this real-time situation. And also this AI platform, this is using big data analysis, and this is using machine learning algorithm. And with the help of these algorithms, the data is being collected in real time. And also it can help to learn the network behavior. It can identify the faults. It can discover the network issues, and all of these things are going to happen without any without any involvement of the administrator. If we consider example of the traditional network where the NMS was deployed, and there was no such examples like where the fault was automatically detected, and then it was alarm was generated, and then the solution of that problem was also suggested by the system itself. And also if there was an NMS previously, and if the fault was detected, but still it was the data collection time was too much in the previous scenarios, because in the previous cases we were using the full mode, especially in SNMP cases, because the previously NMS were using the SNMP, and these new technologies, the new NMS iMaster NC, they are using the telemetry technology. And in telemetry we are having this push mode, and with this push mode, the data will be collected within seconds instead of minutes. So it can also help to reduce the time from minutes to seconds. In the slide as well, you can see that data is being collected by the telemetry, like the channel busyness, the channel interference, and the transmitting power. And after the collection of this data, the AI analysis will be automatically performed, and the system will do the intelligent optimization. And after the optimization is being done, the changes will be forwarded to the network. So in this way, the intelligent optimization will be keep on the way for the changes. So if we summarize this campus insight and the immersive NCE, this will not only discover the faults, but it will also help to identify the root cause. And after identifying the root cause, it will propose the solution to the network administrator. So that's all it for the Wi-Fi 6 and Air Engine. Now we are going to discuss about the net engine, which consists of all the routers. So let's start with the naming convention for the routers. NE40 is the high-end series of Huawei routers, and they are normally used in large enterprises and for the ISP sectors as well. So let's see for the naming convention. The NE is the net engine basically. 40E is the model name or the brand name, you can say. Then X series means that it is extended, like having better performance as compared to the previous one. Then for the 8, we can this is the main through which we can identify like how many slots and how many number of service slots it has. Like we have different variant in the same model: 3 slot, 8 slot, and 16 slot. So 8 will give you an idea that it has the 8 slots, and A is refers to as advanced. The model is advanced, and let's go further for the high-end router portfolio. Here you can see the high-end routers from Huawei. As I mentioned before, that we are moving towards intelligent era, and we are moving towards the AI world, and the data centers are going bigger and bigger. So in this kind of scenario, we need some infrastructure, or we need some core solution to support these technologies. The technologies like 5G and AI. So in order to consider these kind of situation and scenarios for the future, Huawei have introduced these high-end routers, and these net engine have the complete range of the routers, whether it is for SNMD, whether it is for mid-range, or whether the requirement is for high density or chassis backbone routers. The high-end routers are net engine 8000 M1A and 8000 F1A. These routers are also specifically designed for ISP, for the large enterprises, where we have to meet the massive number of users, specifically in the 5G and AI era. These routers also have the complete portfolio from the edge or access to core routers. These routers also supports the line cards of 40 gig and 100 gig as well. And the forwarding capacity for these routers starting from 176 gigabit to 32 tera. And these 8000 series, these routers also supports different features, and it can provide the powerful services to meet the service requirement of the ISP networks, and also for the large organizations, the large enterprises. Also, these routers also provide the redundancy features as well, like for the key components, which have the SLUs, and then we have the fans, then we have the power supplies. Also, these net engine 8000 series also have 2 prominent features within NSF: the non-stop routing and the non-stop forwarding. With the help of these technologies, we can ensure the stability of the services, or the uninterrupted services. Then we also have net engine 40. These are also the high-end routers, and these are the flagship models for the ISPs, and they are also called as the universal routers. And these NE40 routers, they are mostly used as an edge node, and they can be used as an edge node on the backbone networks for the ISP, for the MAN networks, and also for the large enterprises. The specifications you can see in the slides for different models having different flavors. Here you can see the net engine branch routers, which is also available for all the targeted market. We talk about AS600. They can be ideally used for the small office, for the home office market, and the 600 series can also be pitched for small businesses, or for the small business that have the branch locations. Then the 6121 and 6140, they can be pitched for medium branches or medium businesses. And if the medium businesses have the branch locations or for the offices, then we have the 6200 and 6300 series. These router series, they are appropriate for the large businesses, and they can be used for the HQs. And they comes in different flavors as well, plus in different sizes, and also depending on the requirement of the customer. The smallest router what we have is supports for 2 Gbps, and this is for the branch routers only. And the smallest one supporting 2 Gbps, and the maximum it can go up to 10 Gbps to 12 Gbps. These enterprise routers also supports multiple interface cards. They also supports multi-core CPUs, and also supports highest performance switching fabric, which makes these routers, the best and the industry's highest performance routers. These routers also provide zero touch provisioning, means plug and play, which can make the deployment very easy and fast. And if we talk about the high-end routers, the 6280 and 6300 series, it also supports the redundant components. For the key components, it provides the redundancy. Like I said in the previous slide, the SRUs are redundant, then the power supplies and the fan modules. So having these redundancy in the key components, we can have the service reliability, and we can have the stability as well. So 6000 series also supports the three main features. The first thing is the 5G uplink. These routers are the first routers which supports this 5G module, and this module supports all the network formats like 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G as well. Then these routers are having the highest performance as compared to the industry standards, and these routers also supports the solar chipsets. These solar chipsets are owned by Huawei, and these chipsets are using the energy saving technology basically. By using this technology, it can deliver the high performance by using the lower power. So these chips are also programmable, and by default it have 5 acceleration engines. And by having these 5 acceleration engines by default in this solar chip, it makes these routers as unique and high performance routers. Then regarding the SD-WAN services, Huawei routers also supports SD-WAN infrastructure as well. And if we talk about the traditional routers, when we are going to enable the SD-WAN services on the traditional router, it will reduce the performance of that router to almost 80%. So which means that we need something or we need some router which supports high performance, and so that we can deploy the SD-WAN services. So here Huawei router also fulfills the needs, and Huawei routers have introduced this net engine AR6000 series, which have the multi-core CPUs to support all of these requirements. Also, Huawei routers also ensure the video freezing. the video streaming quality. No frame freezing and 20% packet loss rate means that Huawei router is using the FEC algorithm. What is this FEC algorithm? Basically, it provides the redundant frames from the transmission end. Once the packet is released from the transmission end, it will provide redundancy on the packet level. So which means that if there is any frame or any packet which is lost while moving towards the receiving end, it will help to recover these lost frames and packets. With the help of this algorithm, it will automatically calculate the loss rate. So whatsoever packets are being lost, it is going to be replaced automatically, and it will provide the required quantity. So by providing this kind of features, even if we have the 20% packet loss rate, there will be no frame freezing in the video calling scenario. Let's get more details about 5G card. This 5G card is one of the prominent feature in Huawei routers, which is being supported by all the series of 6000. So by having this 5G card in the routers means that we can have the super fast link, and also we can enhance uplink and downlink performance. Then this router also supports dual card. So we can also have that redundancy in the link as well. So that means that the other link will be on the standby. So this 5G module, as I said in the previous slide, that it supports all the network format, means 3G, 4G, and 2G will also be supported. Other than that, it also supports a dual architecture as well. The dual architecture means it supports 5G NSA and 5G SA as well. What is the difference between the 5G NSA and SA? The main difference is basically the 5G NSA. Basically, it's a solution for 5G networks where the network is supported by the existing 4G, right? And in 5G SA, the 5G base station will be directly connected to the 5G network. It will not depend on any 4G architecture. So this is the main difference. But of course, there'll be a bandwidth difference as well in both the architecture, as you can see in the slide. And this is the flagship model for Huawei routers, AR6140. This is also one of the branch router, which is small in size, but it have high performance because of its multi-core CPUs and high forwarding performance. And it has some of the key advantages over its competitor. And the first one is that it supports a line card, whereas on the competitor side, you don't find any. Then for the forwarding performance also, you can see it is 4 times higher than its competitor product. And this router also offering more electrical, or you can say the more number of ports as compared to their competitor. Then the number of slots are also higher, and the small box also supports the dual power supply as well. So this is the last slide, and let's conclude what we discussed about Huawei routers, and let's discuss some key selling features we have in our routers. As I said that Huawei routers, they are also supporting multiple features in a single box, many specifications and many features. So it will, it can benefit the customers in terms of cost, and it can also benefit us, selling the solution easily. So let's discuss these 4 points. So the VPN types, Huawei routers are supporting multiple VPN types, and one of the type that Huawei routers support is DS VPN, that is Dynamic Smart VPN. What is this Dynamic Smart VPN? Basically, this is an intelligent, efficient solution for the large-scale enterprises, for the big enterprises. Let's take an example to have a clear picture between the difference of this DS VPN and the traditional VPN. In traditional VPN solutions, if we have the large organization or we have the large enterprises, we must have to create the static tunnels. If we want to connect multiple branches with each other, or if we want to connect each branch with the HQ, so we must have to create the static tunnels in this scenario. In this scenario, if we are creating more number of tunnels, so it will increase the workload, and it will increase the workload in terms of operations, and it will increase the workload of the configurations, and it will also increase the workload for the maintenance part as well. So if we are going to have this DS VPN in this kind of scenario, basically DS VPN, we can save a lot of configuration, we can save a lot of workload. How? Because this DS VPN solution, it is using the hub and spoke configuration. For example, we have the large enterprise, and as I said, which is having multiple branches. So we don't have to create the static tunnels in order to connect the two branches with each other, or with a single branch to HQ. But instead, the spoke will form the dynamic tunnel with each other, and there will be no need to connect each branch with the HQ. So in this case, all the information will not be routed through the central hub. So we can say that a spoke router, if a spoke router wants to transmit or want to send a packet to another spoke router, it can send it directly. So this is one of the advantages having this DS VPN in the network. In short, if you summarize this, like we can say that the two spoke routers, they can automatically create a tunnel between them, and the data will be transferred directly between them instead of routing through the central hub. Another benefit of these routers is supporting this FSC algorithm. FSC algorithm I've already explained in the previous slide. Basically, this is a feature to provide the short services, specifically for the video applications, even if we have the packet loss rate. Then the third benefit we have within this box is the integration of the wireless LAN controller, which means that we can use the same box as a WLAN controller, and we can do the AP management as well by using this web browser. So customer can not only save the cost, but it can also have a better management solution in terms of managing both the things within the same box. Then also we have built-in firewalls within these routers. Like these router also supports the IPS, then URL filtering, and multiple VPN technologies, which one of them which I have already explained. So by having this box also, it provides a complete security solution as well. So these are some of the key features and the key benefits which we can highlight in front of the customer for the Huawei routers. That's it from my side. I hope I delivered the message. Now I will hand it over to my colleague. Over to you, Asma.
Thank you, Abdullah. This is the Mohammed Fahmi. I'm Channel Sales Manager. I'm here today to present the channel policy. Let me please share my screen. Okay, gents. My name again is Mohammed Fahmi. I'm the Channel Sales Manager. I'm handling Huawei business in Redington. As following to my colleagues here, we are going to start presenting the channel policy program with Huawei, starting from the levels of partner level. If a partner registered himself, started as a registration, and it is approved now, he will be as a registered partner only. With the first transaction with Huawei, he is going to be an authorized partner. To be a silver or a gold partner, silver sales performance threshold will be $500,000 per year, and the partner will be requested to have three certificates, HCSA 1 and HCBA 2. Post-sales certificates is not requested to have it. Gold partners, their threshold will be $2 million per year, and he's going to be requested to have 4 pre-sale certificates, HCSA and HCPA 2 and HCPP as a professional, and any product from Huawei products, and should have also a CSP 3 stars for any product line, and at that time you will be a gold partner. Being a gold partner or silver partner have a rebate program. For silver partner, he will have a base rebate of 2% and capability rebate. Those capability rebate are related to the achieved certificates. He will have 2%, which is 4% as a rebate incentive. For gold partner, he will get 3% base rebate and 2% capability rebate. This is 5%, and exclusively for gold partner, he will have 1% rebate on joint marketing fund. This rebate, as a comparison between Huawei and other vendors, you don't have to achieve a specific percent from the sales target in order to get the rebate. With Huawei, you will get the rebate on quarterly basis. From the first dollar you achieve, you will get the rebate for the first quarter in quarter 2, and the quarter 2 rebate you will get it in third quarter, and so on. So Huawei is not requiring to have a specific percent of the sales target in order to get the rebate incentive. Also, we are caring for the individual. Also, we have a deregistration reward program for individual, for the account manager and pre-sales as per this table, and it contains 3 labs. For the deal values between 10K and 100K, the account manager will get 1.2% as a reward, capped at $1,000, and pre-sales will get 0.6%, capped to $500. Slab 2 is for the deals above 100K and below 250. For account manager will be 1.2, also capped to 500K, and for pre-sales it will be 0.6, capped to $1,250 for the pre-sales. For above deals, for the deals above 250K, the reward will be capped at 5K for the account manager, and for the pre-sales, the reward will be capped to 2,500. Also, from Redington itself, we are offering an incentive plan in KSA for our partners for orders value between $1.50 and 49.9K US dollar. The reward will be 0.75%. For deals between 50 and 99.9K, the reward will be 1%. For deals 100K and above, you will get 1.25% as a reward from Redington itself. Also, Huawei is offering a Dreamland trip, which was happened in 2020. Unfortunately, 2020 had some issues for the COVID, but still the program are there. And the terms are easy. Whoever partner made a DR and it is approved from Huawei, for each 300K US dollar as a revenue, the partner will be entitled for one seat, and he can nominate any one of the partner team. For each 300K US dollar, the partner will have one seat. So if the partner have achieved, let's say, 1,200,000, he will be entitled for 4 seats. This trip is fully held by Huawei, and it is only for enjoying the sun and the sea. And this promotion is valid until end of this year, which is the 31st of December 2021. Also, Huawei is offering for the partners a training certificate vouchers, and it is offered starting from the gold partner. Huawei is offering certification voucher for 2 HCIA certificates and 1 HCIP and 1 HCIE. For VAB, DISTIs, and global partners, also the same 2 HCIA voucher and 1 HCIB and 1 HCIA. For global partner, also still the same, 2 HCIA, 1 HCIP, and 1 HCIE. For partner as gold partner or DISTI or VAB, Huawei is offering a reward for the employee who achieves one certificate for HCIE. They are offering him to the individual himself 5,000 Riyal to the one who achieved the HCIE. And this is for the channel program. Also, we have channel offers. Let me open its presentation. Just a moment. We have also a channel program and promotions, starting from the deregistration reward program, DDR. If the partner have applied a deregistration and it is approved, he will get minimum 15% deal protection for the prices. If any other partner quoted for the same project, he will get prices more than him of 15%. And also, as we said, that there is 1.8% for sales incentive to the sales and the pre-sales. This is for individual, and also the partner will get preferential support like SPQ support, faster sales cycle, and solution support. As we said, that the account manager and pre-sales account manager will have a reward program also for the deals between 10K and 100K. At all scenarios, the account manager will get 1.2% for each deal, but capped for as per the 3 slabs, capped to 1,000 for the deal between 10 and 100K, and to 500K for the deals of 100K and 250, and for all the deals above 250K, the account manager will get 1.2, and it is capped to 500K, 5K. For the pre-sales account manager also, there is if the quote from Huawei, he will get 0.3%. And if the quote was created by the partner, he will get 0.6%. Also, as per this table, it will be capped For the slab 1, it will be capped at $500. Slab 2, it will be $1,250. And for slab 3, it will be capped at $2,500. Also, as a supporter from Huawei now, Huawei is offering a ready stock and express delivery. We have stock from Dubai, and the delivery time is taking from 1 week to 3 weeks. Those items for the campus switches, Wi-Fi access control and access point, firewall, storage, ID hub, and digital power, it's coming soon. These items are going to be available in Dubai hub, and the delivery for it will be from 1 week to 3 weeks. Before, all the orders from Huawei was taking 6 to 8 weeks as a back-to-back orders. But as a facility from Huawei now, this Dubai hub is supporting us a lot to achieve the customer requirements and to make a faster delivery. Also, there is another offer from Huawei, which is Wi-Fi 6 expansion program. If any partner under VAP or a global partner or reseller, the account manager will get $1.5 per access point he sell, and the channel pre-sales manager will get also the same value, $1.5. But under those conditions that there should be an approved DR with the name of the partner. This offer is valid with regional promotion program, and the discount level also applied on the access point that they are sold. The minimum Wi-Fi access point quantity per one order is 50 pieces. Maximum incentive is 3K per BO for value added partner and global partner and reseller. This offer is valid for the first 10,000 access points sold by our partners, and this offer is valid also till 31st of December 2021. Another also incentive, Huawei IP with win-back program, that the partner account manager and partner pre-sales manager can get 1% for a win-back project. Account manager will get 0.5%, also the pre-sales will get 0.5%. Conditions for getting this level, that first DR should be there and approved, and it is converting enterprise network opportunity from non-Huawei to Huawei. This is a winning back project. The minimum IB amount value should be 60K net. Threshold that the sales incentive cannot exceed 10K per deal. Offer is limited for the first accumulated of 10 million orders, $10 million orders, and it is valid till end of this year, which is 31st of December 2021. Also, for the data center network migration program, the partner can enjoy 1%, same as the previous offer. Account manager will get 0.5%, pre-sales manager will get 0.5%. Conditions to win this project, to win this offer, first to have an approved DR, deregistration, that the project is converting enterprise network opportunity from non-Huawei to Huawei. The minimum IB amount should be 60K net. Threshold, the sales incentive cannot exceed, or this is the cap, the sales incentive cannot exceed 10K per deal. Offer is limited for the first accumulated of $5 million orders, and it is valid till end of this year. Also, we are encouraging our partners to do more POCs and demos to the customers. So for the partner who have a demo or POC and it is succeeded with the customer, partner account manager will get $500, and pre-sales also will get $500 under those conditions. That the applicable partner for this program is value-added partner, gold and silver partner. So authorized partner is not included in this program. Second condition, that the POC shall result to BO. This is most important, with a minimum IP amount of $60K. The POC should have a signed off documents with test results shall also be provided to Huawei in order to get this program. The incentive cannot be attributed more than 3 times to the same partner in order to give more space to other partners. Program is limited for the first 50 POCs across the region till end of this year. So if we combined all those programs for a deal value, as an example, that a partner closed $1 million as a revenue net to Huawei deal with the following criteria. First, he have a deal registration and it is approved. This deal included 1,000 Wi-Fi access point. Also, it was, and he managed to make the customer or the end user to change his mind to use Huawei access point. So this is a win-back project. And he also made an update for the data center migration from old brand to Huawei, and it was of $300K. And this happened through a POC led by the partner. So if we combined all those programs for the deregistration reward, the account manager will get $5K, and the pre-sales will get $500K. For the Wi-Fi, the account manager will get $1,500. Also same for the pre-sales. He will get also 1% for win-back incentive, which is 5K for the account manager and 5K for the sales manager. 1% for the data center migration incentive, which is 1,500 for the account manager and 1,500 for the pre-sales. And for the POC, the account manager will get $500 and the pre-sales will get $500. So at the end, the partner account manager will succeed to get $13,500 to himself, and for the pre-sales, he will get $11,000. Totally, which is $24,500 to partner sales and pre-sales, and this is all excluding company's incentive. So if we, as partner, try to apply this example for all our projects, for sure you will get benefits and you will get a good margin if you are not dividing those to the account manager and pre-sales. So the company will benefit a lot, and also individual will benefit a lot by working with Huawei. I wish that I was clear to you all, and we enjoyed having you with us today. And for any inquiries or any additional support or information, please don't hesitate to contact us at any time. From me as Mohammed Fahmi, and for my colleagues Zerfan and Abdullah, we extend our greetings to having you today with us. And I will give back to our marketing team to continue the today presentation.
Hi, Subhashri. You can go ahead with the quiz.
Hi, Fun. I'm Mohammed. So we'll be starting with the quiz. Is that okay? Irfan, are you there?
Yes, please start.
Yeah. Please start.
All right, perfect. Irfan, Subhashi, can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. All right. So let me just walk you through how we can log in for the quiz. I would request all the participants to kindly type in the URL pollev.com/moneyplant085 in their browser, so they can log in for this quiz using their phone itself or their PC. You just have to type in the URL pollev.com/moneyplant085. The URL has been typed out in the chat box as well. We'll give it 2 minutes for everyone to join in. If anyone's facing any issue in logging in, please let us know. We'll give it another minute for everyone to join in. I think so far we don't have any queries and everyone is able to join in for the quiz. All right, I think we can begin with the quiz. The quiz basically works on, you'll be getting a set of multiple choice questions. Each question carries some points. The pointing based system on, of course, the correct answer and also on how quickly you answer the question. And at the end of the quiz, we'll have a winner declared. With that, we begin. These are your options. Moving ahead to the next question. We have Mr. Umar leading currently. Congratulations to all the winners. With that, we conclude. I think the Redington team will reach out to each winner. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Subhashi, over to you, please.
Thank you, Chanakya, for conducting the quiz. So here we conclude, and congratulations to the winners, and thank you, Irfan, Fahmi, and Abdullah for the wonderful speech. Here we conclude. Thank you for joining.